and welcome back. If you're new around here, my name is Katie Marie and I like to play with eyeshadows, and I had some time to film a video today. If you're new around here, these videos tend to be unedited, so if you like that sort of thing, stay tuned. If you're not new around here, you know the drill. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of editing to this video, but today I had some time to sit down and play with some makeup, and I asked you guys on Instagram. I gave you I think 4 or 5 suggestions, and I was like, which palette should I use, because I don't have anything brand new that I'm working on, so I can go back and play with other ones. And oh my goodness, it was overwhelmingly like response of the people who responded. Sugar and Grunge won by a landslide. I only put it up for a couple hours, so I didn't like give it a ton of time, but there was like well over, out of like, I don't know, what was it? Like 3/4 of the people that said they wanted this palette. So this is what we're using. I really don't know what we're going to use. I don't know. I kind of want to go with the green, but I feel like I've done an all green look. Maybe I'll go with the more black and gray. Give it a good black and gray, and maybe we'll do a bright green on the lid. That could be fun. I don't know. We're going to try something. It could get a little interesting today because I got my base makeup all done, sat down to start recording, and Sophia woke up. So I was like, and like I had just put her to bed like less than 30 minutes ago. So I was like, oh, maybe like she didn't nurse fully, and so she woke up and kind of wants to finish. Combat boots is what I'm going into. If you're new around here, my videos are very kind of like rabbit trails. I don't have like one subject, one thing I'm like trying to jump into. We just talk over here. But anyway, so I was like, maybe she didn't eat all her food and, or you know, nurse completely and she's still hungry. So let me nurse her again real quick, put her back down, and then we'll do this. And she nursed, and then she kept kind of wanting to move around and get up, and so, oh my goodness, I just laid her down. I was like, okay, you nursed, you should be full now, good night. And I walked out and laid her down, and she is currently sitting up. She's not screaming. She is not like standing up, which is typically what she does when she's like ready to get out of the crib. She's a year old, for reference, if you're new around here. She's just sitting there and talking and like looking around. So fingers crossed she decides that she's still tired and needs to go to sleep, because she's been fighting the multiple naps a day. So recently I've just been putting her down for one nap halfway through the day when my other kids go down for a nap, and she usually takes a really long nap. But the hard part is on days like today when she decides like something wakes her up or whatnot, she thinks she's like gotten enough sleep, but she might, like today, only got 30 minutes of sleep. And there is no way, at least my baby with being a year old, they can't make it the whole day with like less than an hour of sleep. That is really rough. So I'm hoping she goes back to sleep, or otherwise the rest of the day is going to be a little bit rough around the edges. So anyway, yeah, all that to say, I might have to go get her and just hold her, which that would be an interesting video, because I don't think I want her crawling around at my feet, but so I might have to grab her and bring her in here just to hold her. But I just really wanted to do my makeup. I already got my base makeup done, so I was like, oh, we'll see. Maybe she'll play and be happy. I'm gonna go in with this one while I do my eye makeup real quickly, because since I'm doing my eye makeup, and I'm gonna try my best to not take too long, hopefully it'll just be like a 20-minute video all said and done. And sometimes she will play very contently by herself, other times she won't, but sometimes she does. So anyway, I really just wanted to play with makeup. It's been a little while since I could just have fun with some makeup, and it's been a while since I had the time to record. I kind of was wanting to keep to doing one video a week at the bare minimum, so I would rather get this video filmed and ready for Sunday in case the week gets crazy. So I wanted to sit down and film, so we'll see. Like I said, she might come and join us if she starts crying, but so far she's playing with her toes. She has discovered her toes. Thankfully hasn't discovered anything too you know, getting into too much trouble. One of my children, if I didn't have like shorts or pants or something on, she or they, I honestly don't remember if it was my oldest or my second oldest, but one of them, so long ago, would take off their diaper. Oh, that was not a fun discovery, so I always had to make sure I put on some type of shorts. So it was probably my daughter, because their little dresses, sometimes I would get lazy and not put on like any type of like diaper cover on them, and then you would walk into a surprise. So anyway, yeah, I don't have anything set really that like I want to talk about. I just wanted to play with makeup, so I've been babbling on. We're gonna go into this gray. I feel like I'm going super boring, but I just really want to go for an all gray smoky look, and then use one of the more fun bright shimmers somewhere somewhere. No, one of the bright shimmers, colorful shimmers on my lid. I think that would be fun to do. And I don't think, I have such a bad memory when it comes to the looks I've done, but I don't think I've done an all gray look. I know I did multiple looks for this palette, which is why I was kind of surprised people were still asking for looks, because I've done, I think I did, gosh, it's been so long, but didn't I do like at least 3, if not 5 looks with this palette when shortly after it first came out? I think that's around when I started having trouble getting videos edited. My life was just getting busy, so I think it took me a little bit longer than I wanted to get that out. I forget. But anyway, I'm just gonna blend this out. They're all blending really nicely. This shade, what is it, Payphone, is really bright for just like a white, light grayish color. Like, it's really bright. Definitely stands out, I feel like. Yeah, it almost looks like I have a glow around my eyes, or around my eyeshadow. That's really pretty. It's light, but it's not like one of those shades that's like doesn't do anything, doesn't make a difference, if that makes sense. Like, I can definitely see this shade on my eyes for sure. Oh, she discovered this. I have a little room darkening thing around her crib to help make the room darker, obviously. But anyway, she likes to pull on it, so she's just seeing if she can pull that down. It's all strapped in and I can see her. I'm watching her, but anyway, we'll see. She's exploring her crib. I am thankful with her. She is pretty laid back for my children. Usually my kids, when it came to bedtime or anything like crib, playpen area or whatever, they weren't really big on it. But she tends to like not mind chilling on her by herself or playing in her playpen, or I can put her in the stroller and bring her around with me when I'm doing chores with the animals and stuff, and she's really chill. She'll just watch me from the stroller, which is a huge blessing right now in my life, because definitely there were a couple babies I've had before her who I would have to probably be carrying her, which is just a lot when you're going around doing chores. So I'm very thankful that she is so chill in the stroller. But anyway, I have no main point to this video. I feel bad. You'll have to let me know, would you like me to kind of pick a topic to ramble on? Would that be more beneficial when it comes to these videos, or do you like the randomness of just kind of talking about, like for the first 5 minutes, about how my child woke up early and made my day a little bit more interesting or just different than what I had planned for it to be? I'd love to hear your feedback on that. Oh, and something else I'd love to hear your feedback on. I was just watching a video on from, I'm gonna blank, Peter Monn. I don't watch a lot of his videos, probably mostly because he posts a lot. Like, I feel like I guess it depends on what's going on, but he can post several a day. But I stumbled across, how did I find this out? I forget where I found it out. I can't even remember. But someone said something about RawBeautyKristi being in some drama, and then I think or RawBeautyKristi and Peter Monn being in some drama. I don't even know what first tipped me off, but I went up into YouTube and just searched up RawBeautyKristi and Peter Monn. I think someone mentioned them having beef, and I was like, oh, you know, what's beef? Because I have always enjoyed RawBeautyKristi content. I don't always watch her more recent videos because personally, I really loved her really creative stuff back in the day. So her more recent stuff, if the topic she's talking about is something that I'm super interested in, I would watch it, but her eyeshadow looks weren't really ones that I tended to, want to duplicate, so I didn't always click to her more recent videos to watch, just because, like I said, I was really into her super creative, colorful type of eye looks. Anyway, she just all around seems like a sweet person, so I have been following her. So I was just curious, like, what's going on with her now? But you'll have to let me know. Have you seen anything about that, and what do you think about it? I'd love to get a feel for what my audience thinks. I watched one of the Peter Monn videos. I think he has 5 of them. I watched part of one and then part of the other. I'm still not done with the second one, but I watched, I think, the most recent one yesterday, and then today I started to watch the original, kind of like the first video he did, because I was just curious where it all started. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Like, I totally get like having a responsibility when you get to be such a large size, because like people follow you and you do have an influence. It's kind of like, growing up, being the older sibling, you know, and then, you know, if you were being a bad example for the younger kids type of thing, the younger kids were watching you. So whether your mom or I'm just gonna speak in my case, being an older sibling, I was the third oldest, whether my parents agreed with it or not, or were trying to work with me for something like a bad attitude or what have you, I always remember my mom saying like, you're doing this and maybe we're working with you to correct it and explain how like the attitude is disrespectful or whatever the case is, but always remember they're watching, you know, like your younger siblings are watching, and even as a parent, like your children are watching. So if like I'm having a bad attitude, my children are watching, and there are so many times that I will, you know, see something in one of my children that I'm just like, that's what I do when I such and such, or like they just pick up on the bad habits so quickly, or the, you know, bad tempers or whatever it is. They're so quick to pick up on it. So there's always a sense in like when I was growing up as an older sibling and then now as a parent where it's like, you know, they're watching whether I want to accept the responsibility or not. They watch, they pick up on things, and they learn. So there is a responsibility with that amount of influence I have over my children now and over, you know, my siblings growing up and whatnot, that, you know, it's just, whether we want to admit it or not, there are going to be people, I guess, through different stages of your life that you do have an impact on. And while there is a sense in which it's like their decisions are their decisions, you know, their decisions and the things they do are, you know, the consequences of their actions are on them, yes, but there is also a sense of responsibility with yourself, just being the example and whatnot, what example you're putting on them. Kind of like growing up, is I wasn't going to get in trouble if my sibling did something wrong, but if I knew or I just realized that they picked it up from me, or maybe my bad example or bad attitude kind of leaked over onto them, or even now as a parent, if I'm having a terrible attitude and then I am being short with the children and then they get short with me, and usually it's like, hey, you don't speak to your mom like that, but then I'm like, what am I doing to them? Like, I am being short with them. So there is that sense of responsibility, and that everyone goes through life having at different stages and whatnot. But there's also, you know, the personal responsibility with the people. So anyway, what am I even saying? Just that's because I think that's the biggest thing when influencers get so big. People say like, hey, you have a responsibility because you have such a big influence to make sure you are absolutely above board. And I feel like in today's period, to be above board and to be calling out anything that's wrong, one of those ways is to be very vocal about it, or just to be obvious in likes and follows, which honestly, I'm probably gonna go on a side note here. Where did I get the subject? I was only gonna mention and see what you guys think, and now I have all these thoughts. So let me just preface this before I go any farther. Like, I just found out about this, I think it was last night, or maybe it was the night before that. Honestly, yesterday was a little insane. So maybe I saw it on Monday night, watched a little bit. Yesterday was crazy. A really bad day, and then I can't remember if I watched anything. Anyway, I know I watched one today. So anyway, I'm very new to this, so I'm so sorry if I'm like putting my foot in my mouth by not understanding the situation fully, which was why I was only going to like comment and ask your guys' opinions, because I feel like everyone always knows so much more than me. But here we go. So prefacing this by saying I don't know all the information. Like I said, I googled it. I saw Peter Monn, Viewer's Voice, Dustin Daly, and Rich Lux, which I didn't watch any of those, but those are the only people I've seen do videos on them. I haven't seen a lot of other people. I saw, oh gosh, Radiant Brit, she's the other one I haven't watched yet, that did a video on it, but those are the only people I've seen do videos. So I feel like this is kind of new and developing as far as, I mean, I guess they gotta wait till Raw Beauty says anything, but have I even said what she's accused of? I don't think I have. Basically, I think Peter Monn, I forget who, oh no, she started blocking followers who called her out for following and liking a James Charles pictures. Now when I heard that, that's like the accusation. So when I heard that, I was like, I was kind of the opinion that it's like, and this is the rabbit trail I was going to go on, because it's like, if you follow someone, yeah, follow is definitely, you know, says something. But I follow, like, I think it's over 1,000 people. There has definitely been times where I'm scrolling on Instagram and I like come across this page and I'm like, oh, I follow this person, and I'll go check and be like, yeah, I follow them. I must have followed them at some point, but I don't really like want to watch, like, see their content anymore. And so I'll unfollow them from there. Or like I follow this person and maybe I follow them just because I like the type of looks that they create, just for inspiration, and I want to be like reminded to save their inspiration and whatnot to use and stuff like that. So I don't necessarily like follow that creator as far as like knowing the ins and outs of them. And also I am horrible at just like mindlessly liking without reading, like reading what is that called? Reading the description box or whatever people comment on it, or reading who posts it. I'll just see a pretty picture, I'm like, oh, that's pretty, and I'll double click and move on. So like when people call out bigger influencers for like, oh my goodness, they like this picture, it makes me nervous, because I'm like, and also Instagram will often like, especially the algorithm now, they'll show you people's pictures or videos that you don't necessarily follow all the time. So like sometimes I scroll, I'm like, oh, that's really cool, and I'll double click on it because I think whatever, the picture's cool, and I'll look and be like, I don't even follow this person, like why am I being shown it? All right, I need to stop for a minute because I'm just gonna babble on and on. Let's go with, should we go with green? That's the brightest color in here. We'll go with green. I wanted to do all green, so I'm just gonna give in. Well, let's do green. So anyway, it kind of makes me nervous because, like I said, I can absolutely mindlessly like, and I can also accidentally like, because there's been times I've accidentally liked and I've accidentally followed people, like absolutely accidentally. And have I accidentally blocked? I can't remember. I think I've deleted off my timeline accidentally. I don't think I've accidentally blocked. Maybe that was Facebook that I accidentally like said I didn't want to see this anymore. But I've definitely accidentally followed people and liked pages without realizing, because sometimes when I'm scrolling, the way I do it, like with one thumb, like as I'm nursing, sometimes I can like double tap as I'm going to scroll and it'll like the picture. And then also like when you're looking at, when you're watching stories, randomly as you go from one to another, they'll like pop up 3 or 4 recommended, and if I'm not careful when I click to move on, if I'm clicking too fast, I'll accidentally click like yes, follow. And so I'm like, I don't know this person, like I don't want to follow. So I feel like I all the time am accidentally liking and following things that I don't necessarily like know what I'm liking and following, if you get. And all this to say that when I first heard the accusation from Kristi, I was like, well, maybe she just like still follows him for his artistic ability, like on it, or like artistic inspiration on Instagram, because that's where he posts. I honestly don't know what he posts. I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say that's where he posts all the like looks that he does, but I don't know what he posts over there. So but maybe he does all his pretty pictures, and I totally follow some people that I don't know anything about the influencer at all, but I like the picture, or I like the makeup that they do, that I just get inspired by it. So I follow them so that I can see them and, you know, save the looks or be inspired or whatever the case is. So I was like, maybe that's the case. Like maybe that's all that happened. So I initially went into the first video just saying like, it's probably gonna be something like that. And then I listened to the video. Now granted, I listened to this while like making dinner and taking care of children and making sure a dog doesn't eat something he's not supposed to. So it was a little bit chopped up, but it seems like the issue is that not just that she liked it and still follows him, but that she's just not coming out and saying like, hey, I didn't mean to like that, or hey, you know, I didn't realize I was still following him, or whatever. She just didn't come out and address it, and she's continuing. I think the biggest issue is that not only did she not address it, she blocked people who respectfully were asking about it, and then, or I shouldn't say respectfully, I don't know the comment, but we're nicely asking like, hey, why do you still follow him? Why are you liking his pictures? They apparently blocked her, she apparently blocked them. But then, what else? Oh, she posted a different video without commenting at all about it. So it's kind of like, I understand someone, because I'm totally someone who's like, I really don't want to get into drama. And I realize I'm being a little bit hypocritical because now I'm talking about drama. Maybe this will be the only video I talk about it. I don't know why I'm so chatty about this, but probably because I was watching his video right before coming in here when I was trying to nurse Sophia to sleep, who is now standing up, but she just sat back down, so she might be done trying to sleep. I really hope she falls back asleep. It's gonna be a rough day. But anyway, what was I saying? So all that to say, like, I feel like I could give her the benefit of the doubt, but the big issue I think is just that she's not addressing it, not kind of coming out and saying, oh yeah, you know, my bad, don't support his looks, but even if she came out and said like, I don't support his looks, but I like his pictures, so that's why I like it, like I like the artwork, for me I'd be like, okay, you know, I don't know, as long as you, I wouldn't have as much beef if she said that. But I think the reason most people are having issues is just that she's not saying anything. Oh, and that's what I was saying, I can understand someone not wanting to get involved in drama. It's a little hard for me to like give Kristi the pass though, because she does kind of tend to do those type of videos of like talking about things that people don't want to talk about, or calling, you know, people out, especially like the beauty community and stuff. I haven't watched all her videos, but I have seen like the thumbnails and stuff, and it usually is just something kind of grabby that's about, you know, not grabby, oh that sounds terrible. The thumbnail is attention grabbing, that's what I meant to say. To grab your attention and talk about, I think the last one I remember seeing before the video of like the easy tutorial video she did recently was talking about like unpopular opinions, or you know, talking about things or answering questions nobody wants to answer, stuff like that. So she tends to like not be shy in speaking her mind in like videos when it comes to, you know, videos on her channel and unpopular opinions and whatnot. So the fact, I think that's why I find it so weird that she doesn't just come out with a quick video and just be like, I like his artwork, I follow him because I like to see, you know, all the pretty eye looks he does, and that's that. Or I'm just like want to stay respectful, I guess, because she might seem, I don't know, I do not keep up with James Charles. I should say this, if anyone is wondering. No, I don't support what James Charles did. I don't keep up with him at all. Like, I will watch T-Spill, her videos on him, and that's the only time I ever see anything that has to do with James Charles anymore, just because I don't really see him on my timeline anymore because of all the drama. No one really talks about him, so I only see and kind of keep up or catch up with him whenever he's done something new, and it's usually had to do with his makeup brand that T-Spill talked about that apparently did not go well. But besides that, I don't keep up with him, so I don't even know like if James Charles is still going to events and stuff. I feel like no one really talks about him, so I feel like he's not going to many like brand events or influencer events. But even saying that, like, is Kristi going to a lot of events? I don't even know that. I feel very out of the loop here. So I don't understand, like, the only reason I can think her not wanting to make a big stance is if she like wants to stay civil with him, seeing him at an event. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, you don't have to be super friendly with someone to be civil. Like, even if you don't agree with someone, just because you go to the same events, like, yeah, it's probably a little awkward, but not everyone can agree with what everyone does, and you know, you don't have to fully agree and support someone in order to be in the same room with them, that type of thing. I think that's another thing I was thinking about when I was watching the video, Dustin's video of like people, the person who was blocked by him and stuff like that. It's really hard. I think there's I can be sympathetic to people who say like, I have loved RawBeautyKristi's content for so long, I can't believe she'd do something like this. And that is hard, because there's a sense in which I think it's just human nature to want to think that the people you enjoy or like to watch or that you see on video are just like that in person, and like that would believe and agree with everything that you do. But I don't know if it's just my upbringing and some things that happen, but I feel like I never really expect, even the people that I absolutely love to watch, I'm not really expecting them to like believe the same as I do or hold the same values. Like the big influencers in the indie makeup space, I don't really hold them to any type of like my moral values, because we're all different. We all believe our own things. We all have to answer to our, you know, for our own decisions that we make. And you know, even the people, I think the people that, it's hard to keep in mind because you see this pretty picture of what they present on social media, but there is an aspect of like, they're kind of like vloggers and stuff. They show you the good stuff. People don't necessarily show, even me, like I'm not showing you a bad day when I sit down here and record. I'm recording because it's a great day. So that's why I'm sitting down here to record and talk about the most random stuff that you could talk about in a video, probably. I don't even know what I'm going to title this, because I feel like majority of this is about RawBeautyKristi, but the first 10 minutes are not. So if I title it RawBeautyKristi, I'm going to get a lot of comments, people being like, you're not even talking about it. Anyway, what was I saying? The rabbit trails. Oh, I'm at over 20 minutes. I gotta finish up. I forgot forgot I wasn't gonna do mascara on camera, but apparently I'm just talking so much that I didn't. Oh well, I'm sorry if you don't like watching someone put on mascara. I don't really love it because I feel like it's a little bit like, oh, I always am scared the person's gonna like poke their eyeball out or something. I don't know, it just weirds me out a bit. But anyway, I've totally lost the train of thought I was on. I think I was just talking about people letting you down, because, you know, we're all human. We all, even the best people on YouTube that like I really enjoy, that I feel like are always, you know, presenting videos or spitting out facts, that type of thing, presenting videos that are always logical, make sense. Like, I always try to keep in mind that everyone has something that someone won't agree with, or everyone has that, what's the reference, that Achilles heel, or that that weak spot, that blind spot. Everyone has that, you know, to take it to the Bible, talking about helping take the, you know, mote out of your brother's eye when you have a beam in your own eye. We all have that thing, no matter what, that like, yes, we may be super logical on so many things, but we're all gonna have that thing that we're just blind to, that others can obviously see isn't right, but, you know, we're faulty. I think it comes at the end of the day, we're faulty. Even the most, you know, people that appear so genuine on Instagram, on YouTube and whatnot, are going to be faulty. And I think that's, you know, it's a part that people talk about on YouTube, of people wanting to be genuine and people wanting to be like honest and upfront and raw and, you know, real. I think that's a part of being real. That's not exactly, and not to say people should be real and just be like, yeah, I, you know, support these things that are terrible even if they shouldn't be, but I think that's a fault, that being real on the internet, that is a part of being real, is to have those faults that aren't that great, but not just like, you know, something that you can work on or be educated on in your personal friends group. When you have a YouTube channel and you're that big, like, it's in front of the world. And that's another reason, like, let's take this one, the orange. That's another reason where it's like, my channel, I'm not a big channel. I'm pretty darn tiny and getting tinier by the day because I don't upload and stay on top of things like I should if I want to grow. But there's a very real part in it in me that's like, I don't think I want the responsibility of getting big, because then there's so many eyes on you. And like, you know, when you, not to say that like, it's bad to have so many eyes on you, but like when you get that big, all your faults, when you are, you know, people can see them on camera, are just so much larger and more intense. Like, I feel like that's the hard part about the internet, is that it's opened up a world or a lifestyle where, instead of kind of living in that kind of small community or family, personal group type of life like we, you know, people used to before the internet, you know, people that live here, I'm not gonna say where I live, but like, you know, the small town that I'm in Florida, people across the world can know exactly like what I put out on the internet, that type of thing. Same for like Kristi. Like, she lives on a little homestead kind of out in the middle of nowhere from what I understand, and she like has a very, at least she presents a very kind of reclusive, you know, not alone, like they don't like people, but they live a very slow-paced personal life where they're not like in the big city meeting a lot of people. They keep it really slow-paced, and they have their little homestead with their garden, stuff like that. So they have this very, you know, laid-back life, but then everyone around the world can see whatever they put on the internet, which is just, I don't know where I was going with that, but I feel like that causes problems, or like causes more, not problems, but more heartache for people, because like I was saying, when you mess up, you don't just kind of mess up in front of your friends group. You know, growing up, when I would mess up, it was like, oh, my friends group of people that would see me or witness it or what have you. It's like, that was bad enough. I can't imagine the entire internet not liking you. And there's a sense in which it's like, you know, you can also shut it off and just not go on the internet. But when you get so big like that, like, I feel like it's not that simple. Like, I feel like if I ever just left the internet, I'm sure there are some of you who would be like, hey, where'd Katie go? But there's a sense in which I'm not that big, so I can just shut it off and leave. And it wouldn't affect my personal life, because like my personal life is so far separated from YouTube. It doesn't, it doesn't ever connect. But these bigger influencers, like a big part, oh, I feel like I'm so dark, I'm sorry, but a big part of their life, they're so big that even oftentimes their day-to-day is so integrated and mixed with, you know, YouTube, because they're so big. You know, they're meeting people, they're doing business deals, brand deals. It's just a lot more complicated. Don't know where I was going with that, but even my camera was like, you've talked enough, you're going in circles, so sorry. Anyway, I'm talking in circles. I don't even know if I finished that last thought, except to say that, and not to condone at all that Kristi's just not saying anything. I feel like it'd be easiest for her to just come out and say, even if it was, sorry, I got a fuzzy. Even if it was to say, like, I didn't know what he did, and you know, it was an accidental follow, or even if it was to say, like, hey, I still support him. At least she's coming out and saying it, you know, at least she's just coming out and putting it, but, you know, not saying anything. It just, I think the biggest reason it comes off wrong is because she doesn't shy away from that when it's commenting on other drama, but now that it's her drama, it's like she doesn't want to talk about it. It's like, you know, tit for tat. If you're going to talk about that, like, at least be upfront and talk about your own type of thing. I think that's what, for me personally, I'm just kind of like, I would like to see her just do a video and address it and move on type of thing. But, anyway, I think I was just saying that I feel like it's a lot more intimidating when you're a big, you know, big on YouTube, big on the internet, and you mess up, because it's just like the whole world, and I just can't imagine that feeling. I think that's what I was trying to say, like that'd be pretty hard. Yeah, I think that was what I was wrapping up before the video, or my camera stopped recording. But anyway, ultimately, all of that was just a lot of random thoughts as I'm diving into, stepping my toes into what's going on here, and I'll be curious to see. I hope she does a video and just is really upfront about it, but I did not mean for this video to turn into what it did. Hopefully my random ramblings and random thoughts come across okay, and above all, kind of like what I started out, because I had nothing else to talk about and then it turned into this. But above all, I'd love to hear what you guys think, because I know a lot of my viewers are in the beauty world, so I'm assuming probably a lot of you do also, or have also seen RawBeautyKristi, watch her videos, that type of thing. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about this unfolding, whether like, are you curious to see what she's coming out with? I know some people have said, like, they're done, you know, they unfollowed her, they washed their hands type of thing. But yeah, I definitely still follow her on, I think on Instagram. I don't really get, Instagram's that thing where if you don't go find that person and click their stories a lot, it rarely pops up. So it's been a while since I saw her stories, but I'll be curious to see what happens. I'm holding back judgment, holding back all my thoughts until I get some more information, because I feel like it's just starting to come out. But from what I do know, those are my thoughts. You have to let me know what you think. Anyway, with that said, I'm gonna go. Sophia is still sitting, but I do see on my monitor that she is getting more vocal. So I'm gonna go. It should be an interesting day with her not taking a nap. It's gonna be a long one, so. Anyway, with that said, that's gonna do it for me. Follow me over on Instagram, LadyKaty92, for makeup related content, and the Makeup Homesteader for animal, more personal life content. Those are my two Instagram channels that I sometimes post on. And with that said, that's gonna do it. I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Oh, wait, real quick. If you wanna see this look, I will post a close-up around the day, Sunday when I post this. I'll put it on my Instagram. That's what I was gonna say. All right, with that said, bye guys. We'll be right back.